Hello, and welcome to episode Todd Talks, and Todd Talks people listen. Of all the creatures in the vastness of this universe, there is none like me. Hopefully. I really hope there's none like me. There's only so much you all can handle. Today, we are talking about the season finale for Death Battle Season 10. Galactus vs. Unicron. Oh my gosh! Yeah, I was not expecting this to be the season finale. I really thought they were going to do something wacky like Columbo. But alas, it was not to be. And a lot of you are happy about this because this is indeed the most requested Death Battle matchup ever. Yeah. I can see why. You know, much like a Darkseid Thanos or even Goku versus Superman, like this is one of them epitome matchups. You know, like it's the one you almost need to talk about, that you need the answer for. So, shall I begin? Our journey begins in the 6th incarnation of the Marvel Universe. What? There are 6 incarnations of the Marvel Universe? Actually, there's technically 7 or 8, depending on how you want to interpret certain things. But in this continuity context, we're going to do 6 and 7. Number 6 is where a man named Galen of Todd existed. This was when the universe had a much different set of races and beings and that we are familiar with, and the beings of Todd was one of the most advanced, if not the most advanced, civilization in all of the universe and or multiverse. But there was a problem. It was called the Big Crunch. Yes, that is actually what it was called. It's also known as the Black Winter, but I'll get to that later. If I remember. I do apologize if sometimes I say I'll get to that later and then I never do. That's on me. But the Big Crunch was devouring the universe and sending out radiation that was killing everyone within it, including the people of Todd. And this is where Galen enters the picture, because Galen did not want to die a basic death. He wished, not unlike many of us, to go out in a blaze of glory. I feel that, bro. I feel that. So he and a whole bunch of other scientists from Todd decided, hey, we're going to shoot ourselves in a rocket into the sun and die in a literal blaze of glory while playing Bon Jovi music. Yes, even in the 6th incarnation of the Marvel Universe, Bon Jovi exists. He really does it, but wouldn't that have been cool if he was? So, as they got closer to the sun, one by one, all the other scientists died, except for Galen. And this is where, technically 2 different stories happen, because originally it was just that he was spared by the various forces of the Marvel multiverse, but as we would later find out, he was actually bitten by a god in the Black Winter, and that actually made Galen his herald. Food for thought for later. But in the original context, and without the Black Winter storyline, Galen was spared, and he was reborn via the various entities of the Marvel multiverse, including Eternity and Infinity, into Galactus. Now, curiously, Galactus was not Galactus right off the bat. Now, you see, much like any life form in any universe, he had to grow. So, when the 7th incarnation of the Marvel Universe, which is the one we're technically in right now, depending on how you want to interpret Secret Wars, wars, not war, okay? It's different, okay? Galactus slowly grew his body into the being that we now know, and that took quite a while, okay? He even crash landed on Ego at one point and accidentally siphoned some of the world's powers to try and, grow. Magic planets make my Galactus grow! And the 10 to use are free! It's time to conquer Earth! They have too much fun on the bloopers. Oh, there's a new bloopers video out if you want to watch it. And ironically, it's Martian Manhunter versus Silver Surfer, who actually helped in the creation of Galactus. Remember, if you remember my video, he had to do a long way back time travel episode. It was a thing. And he actually talked with Galen, not Galactus, Galen. It was weird. So eventually the being that we know as Galactus happened thousands upon thousands of years after the birth of the universe, in the new multiverse, 7th incarnation. And this is where things got interesting for Galactus, because as a being of balance, this has to be said, and this is actually something I appreciate with Death Battle in the preview. Galactus is not inherently evil. You could even argue that he doesn't care about what he does. He is content with it. He does it because it's a necessity. He is a literal balancing act in the universe. You remember Beerus from Dragon Ball? Same principle, but without the laziness. You heard me, Beerus. Yes, Galactus consumes worlds to help not just power himself, but to bring a kind of balance to the universe, even if it doesn't seem like that at the time. Especially if you're on one of those planets that are being devoured, including the Skrulls at one point lost their homeworld to Galactus. They weren't happy about it. They weren't happy about it. But he is a natural entity and a being of eternity to the extent that when Reed Richards actually saved Galactus at one point, Reed was put on trial. And Galactus actually came to his defense and then brought eternity with him to explain that without Galactus, the universe would not exist. Like, seriously, it is stated that when Galactus dies, like, fully, completely dies, the universe will go with him. That would be bad. So, he's not evil, but he's also someone who can sometimes be so single-minded in his goal that it doesn't matter what you try to do or try to convince him to do. He's not going to stop. For example, in one more recent comic arc, he tried to get the Galactus seed from Asgard. Why did Asgard have the Galactus seed? Well, the World Tree. No, not the MCU version where Loki has all the time branches and everything. That's a different World Tree. The Galactus seed helped make the World Tree, which binds the 9 realms together. Actually, there's 10 realms now, but whatever. And Galactus needed it because, according to him, it was the entity that would birth the next incarnation of the universe. See, even though he is the balancer of this universe, he is already preparing for the next universe. He even said himself, remember that quote I did at the beginning? That was part of a longer monologue where he said, I will give back to the universe far more than anything I have taken. Which is really hard to comprehend, except when this universe dies, Galactus will basically infuse the energy that he has taken into the new universe and then create the next Galactus. So he's literally paying it forward so that there can be balance within the universe, and yeah, that's the thing. I'm not going to try and get into the complexities of the Marvel cosmos. I mean, we just saw what happened with DC Comics and Goku versus Superman, which is still great, by the way. So let's not even try and understand Marvel, okay? But yeah, Galactus is not evil. He is a world eater, and you could argue that in the minds of the people whose worlds they've lost or the loved ones they've lost to Galactus, he is evil, but he's not. He is an entity of life as much as he is destruction. And he does not take pleasure in what he does. He just does it. Well, much like as Boomsticks or Wiz said, is the wolf who chases the hare evil, or the bear that kills the wolf, or the human that kills the bear? Okay, the human that kills the bear. Okay, let's be honest. That humans are dicks. Just saying. But he is a necessary entity. In fact, in one timeline, one version of the Marvel timeline, Galactus actually died, and it didn't destroy the universe, but it did free a entity of destruction known as Abraxas, and they really wish they didn't kill Galactus then. Galactus's presence was literally stealing Abraxas away, and so when Galactus died, Abraxas came back, and it was not good. All right, it took some serious multiversal adventures and nonsense to defeat Abraxas and bring Galactus back to life. So, yeah, it's complicated, but it's a thing. Now, the thing that makes Galactus so terrifying on a power level is that while he can willingly, bring himself down to our level, like the size of humans or ants, as I'm sure we look like to him, he can be well over the size of a planet, the size of a galaxy, potentially the size of the universe. It's all based on what he wants, and of course, the power cosmic. Yeah, if you remember the Silver Surfer episode, power cosmic is basically your magical MacGuffin cosmic energy MacGuffin that can do just about anything he wants. He can use it to absorb planets. He can do massive energy blasts. He can affect his own matter and mass. He can read your mind. He can give you his power. He can take his power that he's already given you, and so on and so forth. If it's convenient, it's the power cosmic. And while Silver Surfer has the power cosmic and can do incredible things with it, including at times technically beating Galactus, that is literally a fraction of the full power cosmic power. That doesn't sound right, does it? A fraction of the power cosmic that Galactus has. Galactus has all of it. And he uses it with great effect. He can take on some of the greatest foes in the entirety of the Marvel Universe and some of its greatest heroes. Case in point, he has fought Thor. He has fought Thanos. He has fought Odin. And in one fight with Odin, the attack on Asgard with the World Tree, he and Odin actually agreed not to physically fight one another because to do so would destroy the entire universe. That's right. Just the fisticuffs between these two would be enough to destroy the entire universe. Or, if you remember Ghost Rider versus Lobo, they cited how Mephisto, who gave Ghost Rider his power, because heralds, they're everywhere, when he fought Mephisto, they were powerful enough to destroy galaxies, like entire galaxies, just from their tussle. Alright? And obviously, Mephisto didn't destroy Galactus, and I don't know if Galactus beat Mephisto, but obviously, the universe survived somehow. And in fact, in that battle, Galactus was able to actually absorb an entire pocket dimension to fuel himself. You see, while Galactus is a world eater, galaxy eater, and universe balancer, he has an energy limit. I know that sounds odd with the power cosmic as beck and call, but because of his incredible power and anatomy, I guess, he requires an incredible amount of energy. And in battles, he'll even go and devour planets and whole stars just so he can keep fighting. He does have a limit. Now, at times, it can take a while to get to that limit for a singular reason. Galactus does not want to destroy the entire universe. He's just eating to satiate his hunger. That's the whole character of Galactus in a way. He does bring balance to the universe, but it's all based on his hunger. At the beginning of the universe, when he was still young, he needed to eat maybe once a month. Okay, so one planet a month. So that's 12 in a year, 120 in a decade, so on and so forth. But then the hunger got more ravenous, and it forced him to keep eating, and including planets that had living people on it. So in theory, you can get rid of him by starving him to death, which many heroes, including Reed Richards, have tried to do in the past. The other way is there are ways you can overpower him. There are beings that have overpowered him in the past. If you remember Thor Vegeta, the God Blast is enough to technically kill Galactus, but Galactus can also teleport, so he can just, get away. Hey, it worked for Vegeta with the instant transmission, I'm just saying. Final Blast! That was a great episode. Princess of Pride, yeah! But there are other beings who have put him down or fought him off in the past. For example, Galactus once fought not one, not two, not three, but 4 mad Celestials. They were very mad, okay? They were mad, darling. Oh my gosh. They were crazed, okay? And not only could Galactus take on 4 of these Celestials, who are some of the higher echelon beings in the Marvel Universe, he killed one of them. But because they fused together, yes, they know a fusion dance, they were able to defeat him. And then Thor actually killed him in the Black Winter event after he had been seriously weakened by the Black Winter itself. So, and no, the universe did not blow up. It's complicated. It's comics. What are you going to do? Then he was revived as the Destroyer Armor. Comics, everybody. Yeah. Anyway. But, and then there is the Ultimate Nullifier. which is actually a weapon of Galactus, believe it or not. This weapon can destroy Galactus, but it also can destroy a heck of a lot of other things. But the catch is that if you are not a strong enough mind, the ultimate nullifier will destroy yourself. Which is why it is the ultimate last resort, which Reed Richards and several other key heroes in Marvel know. But again, Galactus is necessary. And even if you don't like it, and even if you don't agree with it, he is the one who helps bring balance to the universe and will even defend the universe when the time comes. Like when he fought Darkseid, this happened. Or he's fought the Celestials, or the Elder Gods of the Universe, and Abraxas, and so on and so forth. He is there to devour, but only in a way that benefits the universe and the universe to come. Who knew? Alright, next up is Unicron. I'm not afraid to say this will not take as long because Unicron, believe it or not, doesn't have as complex a history as Galactus, thank God. In fact, you could just say thank the One, because it was the One who made Unicron. Yes, I am talking about Keanu Reeves. Whoa, I created Unicron. Yeah, I did that. But the being known as the One was one of the perfect entities of order and chaos, and he made Unicron to be the wanderer of the multiverse as it was being born. But naturally, the first version of Unicron didn't really want to do that. It just wanted to destroy everything. In fact, its entire goal, both versions of Unicron that I'm about to talk about, its entire goal was to destroy everything until it was the only thing existing in a swirling torrent of nothingness. Ain't that nihilistic? I'm sure this guy named Nietzsche. I was going to do a philosophy joke right there, but that probably went over your heads with Nietzsche. But Unicron, the first version, was eventually split into Unicron and Primus. And one was Order, that was Primus, and the other was Chaos, that was Unicron. And these two, at first, were like, okay, we can just do our own thing. Separate paths, right? Well, Primus eventually realized, yeah, my brother isn't exactly a great guy, so I need to deal with him. So Unicron was actually stronger than Primus, but Unicron was not as smart. And so Primus tricked him into going from various planes, including the astral plane, into our reality once again, and they were sealed inside two giant asteroids. Primus became Cybertron, and Unicron transformed its body into a giant world-devouring machine that could transform into a giant freaking robot. Yeah, baby! So, this is where things get really complicated, because while Unicron was a planet-devouring machine, it wasn't one that, again, it's really complicated, because again, as I noted in the preview, Unicron itself is technically not a singular entity. It is one that exists across all timelines, and when one dies in one timeline, he literally just travels to the next one. Alright? Now, he's not one of those beings where it's like, oh, there's a different version of Unicron in every multiverse. That's technically not what's going on here. Primus is that way. Primus has his presence within all realities all at once. Unicron just jumps, basically, from one to the other every time he dies. So that's why there are so many different continuities about what he is and what he becomes, and even what he looks like. For example, in the main universe, like the one I'm talking about right now, he was a being created by the One, and his body transformed itself into the world-destroying planet. If you remember Transformers Prime, great series, Unicron was actually Earth. Yeah, Unicron, after, I guess, original battle of Primus or whatever, literally warped its asteroid into becoming the planet Earth that we lived on. Oops. And then Megatron woke him up. Stupid Megatron. That's also where Dark Energon really came into play. But throughout the various timelines, the cycle, if you will, is the same. In fact, Primus actually tried to stop the cycle by putting himself into a deep sleep. Because remember, Primus is at the core of Cybertron. So he put himself to sleep because him and Unicron, being brothers, had a mental link. And then when one of the Transformers accidentally shot the core of Primus in the middle of the planet, Primus let out a scream, which brought Unicron right to the planet. Oops. Now, despite having world-destroying power, Unicron is also a being that is never afraid to use, wait for it, heralds. See, so many connections between these guys. Heralds to do his bidding or help him complete his plans. The most famous, of course, is Megatron, who he would eventually transform into Galvatron. Yeah, and of course, being both Megatron and Galvatron, neither one of them can be trusted, and both of them have betrayed Unicron time and time again, including in the main timeline and the Transformers movie, all of them. Let's just move on. Again, it's really complicated. Like even the story of Primus and Unicron shifts between the various timelines and comic entities and Beast Wars and everything. Yeah, Unicron was actually in Beast Wars. You might have missed it, but it was there, and I actually remember that episode. He was actually a being took the form of Unicron to display an authority figure. Sure, let's roll with that. So Unicron, of course, is well beyond the size of a planet, and he can devour the planets via its core, its planet-destroying form, or it can transform into, a transformer and just wipe out any transformer or planet or entity that tries to destroy it. And then, as they noted in the preview, he actually has things inside of his body that can take on any intruders, and there are always intruders in Unicron, just the way it is. So, throughout the Transformers history, Unicron has tried, failed, succeeded, stalemated, wiped out. It's basically any win condition or lose condition you can give to Unicron, it's technically happened. Because remember, he just goes from one universe to the other upon life and death. In several of the timelines, he actually destroyed Cybertron, which means he destroyed Primus. And then he went to another universe to do it again. And then he would lose, and then he would go to another universe, and then he would either win, lose, or draw. And sometimes Galvatron wiped him out, sometimes Optimus wiped him out. One time Rodimus Prime wiped him out. That was the Transformers animated movie. And use the power of the Matrix to, the line. But, and so on and so forth. So you might be thinking, wait a minute, if it's so easy to destroy Unicron, then why is he this big bad? Because it's not that easy. All right, first of all, he's a giant freaking robot. No Transformer matches to him in size. All right, very few match to him in power. That would probably be Primus and technically certain versions of Shockwave, if you recall the Megatron video. He's just that good. But also, there is technically only one real weakness to Unicron, and that's the Matrix of Leadership, or the Matrix Power, or however you want to call it. All right, it's a thing that Primus gave to the Primes to ensure that they could lead and be what they needed to be for Cybertron. All right, and it is that Matrix, that a Matrix of creation. That was it. Matrix of creation, or leadership, or whichever version you want to call it. That has the pure power of Primus. Pure power of Primus, yeah. And that can do significant damage to Unicron, including just shutting down all of his systems, like what they did in the animated movie. So, but again, he's not really dead. And some of the timelines, he's been like just a floating head, and he had just enough power to make a herald like Starscream to bring him back to life. Because you cannot kill him. He is just everywhere. And that is why when Unicron comes in the Transformers universe, running might just be your best option, unless you absolutely have something to put him down, even if it's in the temporary. Mm-hmm. Even Optimus is scared of Unicron. All right, that's canon. Okay, so yeah, don't mess with Unicron. Okay. All right, so who wins in a fight between Galactus and Unicron? This is actually not as simple as I thought it would be, because as certain other people, including one very stupid troll, told me, Unicron's planet level, Galactus is universe level, right? Well, no. It's a lot closer than you think, and as noted, Unicron can't technically die from just basic damage and blasts, even though I have given you some examples. He will just go from universe to universe and exist there, or his spark will go and find another host. So much like Starscream, it's really hard to put him down. But there is one thing that Galactus has that can definitively and epically put him down, and that is the ultimate nullifier. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, Todd, you said that unless you have a strong mind, the Ultimate Nullifier will kill you. And in fact, Reed Richards has risked his death, and others have risked their own death to try and make people go away, just to ensure that, they didn't destroy stuff. And they were willing to risk their lives to use the Ultimate Nullifier. But here's the thing. This would not hurt Galactus. Galactus is arguably the smartest being in the entire universe because of how old he is. Remember, millions of years, because he's been there since the beginning of the 7th incarnation of the Marvel Universe. All right? He's been around. He's got a big mind. Okay? But the reason the Ultimate Nullifier will work is that this isn't just something that wipes out an entity. So, for example, if you were Galactus and you wanted to kill me with the Ultimate Nullifier, you wouldn't just need to wipe me out. You could go bigger than that. You could wipe out the entire universe. You could wipe out the entire timeline, start to finish, with the Ultimate Nullifier. And that might just be the unconventional mean of defeating Unicron, because you could do it to where you destroy the timeline he was born in. You could wipe out the entire Transformers timeline, so that Unicron is not born in the first place, and then Unicron's just gone. And Galactus has wiped out entire timelines in the past. This is a power he has. So, arguably, they would be even-ish in certain power and ability and durability. Galactus' greatest weakness is his energy reserves, but with the Ultimate Nullifier, he wouldn't need to expend that much energy. Remember, in Death Battle, they always say what is the first thing they would do to ensure that the enemy was wiped out. And Galactus will go for the Ultimate Nullifier, which is said to actually be an extension of Galactus himself. Okay? Which is why Reed Richards and Abraxas and so many others have tried to get it over the years to ensure that they always have that ultimate trump card. So, with that alone, I don't even need to get into some of the other abilities. Like, for example, technically Unicron is bigger, but Galactus can be however big he wants to be. All right? His natural state is not defined because of how comics works. All right? Power-wise, Galactus has this, not just in direct power, but in versatility, but it's not going to work as much against a being like Unicron because of how enduring it is and the fact that he can just keep traveling from universe to universe. But with the Ultimate Nullifier, Galactus can literally say goodbye to every universe all at once, and there's no other place for Unicron to go. He would do that. And in Death Battle, he will do that. So I'm picking Galactus to end this season in spectacular Oblivion fashion. They just really love destroying everything, don't they? So, with that, I'm ending this episode of Todd Talk. Who do you think is going to win between Galactus and Unicron? Let me know in the comments below. And just how epic do you feel this battle is going to be? I saw the preview. I am Oblivion. So, thank you for watching. If you made this far, I know you're listening, and I'll see you around.